Fala galera, Bulldogames na área, trazendo aqui mais um vídeo comentado pra vocês. E hoje, meus amigos, vamos trazer aqui um novo vídeo oficial divulgado pela PlayStation Brasil de God of War Ragnarok, trazendo as últimas novidades do desenvolvimento do game. Sim, é algo oficial, a gente vai reagir e comentar aqui em tempo real com vocês. Então, meus amigos, caso vocês queiram saber a respeito disso tudo, já vai deixando o seu like, se tu ainda não é inscrito no canal, pode estar esperando que se inscreve, não esquece de clicar no sininho, porque o YouTube não entrega um vídeo pra ninguém. Então, bora lá! E bem, estamos aqui, né? Exatamente no vídeo. Percebam que é um vídeo mais 18, então já mostra que God of War Ragnarok está mais violento do que nunca. Vamos dar o play e acompanhar tudo aqui com vocês.
We're coming off of God of War 2018. How do you top that? How do you deliver something that players will love maybe just as much as God of War 2018? The pressure was tremendous.
Eu imagino, né? Os caras estão falando de superar o God of War 2018, mano. Pelo amor de Deus, olha a promessa. E olha que mapa maravilhoso esse daí, hein?
My name is Ariel Angelotti, and I am the senior producer for Narrative.
My name is Richard Gobert. I'm the story lead for God of War Ragnarok.
I'm Jody Kupsko, and I'm the supervising dialogue designer.
It's my job to shape the story along with our writing team, our narrative director, and game director.
As a producer, it's my job to help build a team to create that content, to own the schedule in realizing that content.
I oversee the dialogue production
Estão
throughout the
trazendo os
entire
profissionais, né,
titles.
que trabalharam
Every line of
na
dialogue that
história
you
e
hear,
tudo mais,
every
né, guys, do
human
game.
vocalization and effort and grunt, our team touches.
So I'm a man now, like you?
No. We are not men. We are more than that.
Nossa, tá
The
bonito, hein, guys?
responsibility is far greater.
In the story of God of War 2018, we find Kratos seemingly having turned over a new leaf in the Norse lands. He lives a quiet life, hidden in the woods with his wife Faye and their son Atreus. And the story starts with them mourning her death. And we learn that she made a final request before she passed away. She wanted them to spread her ashes from the highest peak in all the 9 realms. He's scared of being a bad father, a bad influence, and as a result, it's made him an absent father. His greatest fear is that he's passed that evil that's inside of him onto his son.
You are too quick to temper. You are rash, insubordinate, and out of control. This will not stand. You will honor your mother and abandon this path you have chosen.
Os diálogos de God of War são muito
They
profundos,
befriend
né,
Freya,
gente?
who is an exiled Vanir goddess who used to be married to Odin. They meet Mimir, the self-proclaimed smartest man alive, who serves as their guide and their confidant. And they meet the Holdra brothers, Brock and Sindri, who are world-class weaponsmiths who end up their main source of upgrades and
Estão fazendo
equipment.
resumo de 2018
Now,
agora,
among the
guys.
enemies they make are the Aesir gods, whose leader is none other than Odin, someone we never meet in God of War 2018, but who casts a very long and dark shadow over the 9 realms.
There are consequences to killing a god!
Why? How do you know? How do you know?
Como ele sabe, né?
After many adventures, Kratos and Atreus end up fulfilling Mom's wishes, and over the course of that journey, they find out more about each other and about themselves, and finally find a common ground between them. They become the close family unit that Faye hoped that they would become.
É uma coisa que eu sempre tive, né, na minha mente. A Faye, é claro que ela projeta uma paz para os novos reinos, ela projeta que a profecia seja cumprida, ela projeta que o Ragnarok aconteça e os gigantes possam retornar a Jotunheim. Mas eu acho também que a Freya, ela projetava isso. Ela projetava que o distanciamento do Kratos e do Atreus, ele terminasse. Ela projetava que esse pai se abrisse para esse filho e que eles pudessem finalmente viver em paz como uma família. E ela tinha medo, muito provavelmente, de que isso fosse dificultado com a sua morte. Então ela fez a sua morte uma forma de reuni-los, de deixá-los mais juntos, mais fortes, porque juntos eles são mais fortes. É muito louco isso, caras. God of War é muito profundo e eu vejo que muita gente não entende isso, né?
In God of War Ragnarok, we fast forward a few years, and little Atreus is now a teen, and they're back to hiding out in their home in the woods in Midgard. During the course of the previous game's events, they were forced to kill Odin's grandchildren, Magni and Modi, the sons of Thor. Thor does a lot of the lion's share of Odin's dirty work, and as a consequence, he's a very violent, unstable personality. At the end of the last game...
Ponto importante. Ele é um personagem muito violento, mas instável. Algo que faz muita relação com o que o ator, né, Ryan Hurst, que é o ator de Thor, havia falado anteriormente. Que o Thor, ele só queria ser um bom pai, ele só queria ser um bom marido, ele só queria ser um bom filho. Só que para ele ser um bom filho, ele entra em contradição com os desejos dele de ser um bom pai e um bom marido. Bem interessante isso daqui. Por isso ele é
They
chamado
were
de
also
instável.
forced to kill Balder, the son of Odin and Freya, and that has its own set of consequences. He was a very powerful chess piece for Odin, one that Odin is incredibly bitter about losing. Freya has vowed vengeance against them for the killing of her son. Kratos and Atreus didn't want to kill him, they were friends with Freya, but Balder tried to kill her in front of them, and Kratos had no other option in the moment but to kill him to save Freya's life, even though it meant losing Freya's friendship.
I will parade your cold body from every corner of every realm and feed your soul to the vilest filth in hell. That is my promise.
He saved your life.
He robbed me of everything.
Maluquinha, né? Mãezinha maluquinha.
Everything.
His death is also foretold to bring about Fimbulwinter, which is a brutal 3-year winter that is then followed by
Muito
Ragnarok.
bonito, hein, gente?
It's an
Olha que
apocalyptic
lindo.
war between all the Norse gods, the giants, the dwarves, and the elves, and an army of the dead. They're all destined to fight in a battle that basically ends the world. Kratos is understandably worried about his son and what it means for him.
You get to go on this journey with how Atreus grows into a young adult and how Kratos grows into his next era in his life, and really see kind of the parent that he's striving to be, but the person he's striving to be. I find that tale so incredibly relatable.
We had started shooting
realmente muito
plenty of
interessante
content
isso,
before the
se você parar
pandemic
pra
hit. In
pensar.
fact, the week before we all went
Angry
work
Bird
from
aí.
home, we were doing a shoot. I remember being on and off that set, running back to the office and having to talk to studio leadership about what was going down and how this was going to
Bastante
impact
Angry
us
Bird
moving
aparecendo
forward.
aí, hein,
And
gente?
those were trying times.
For us, it was a very unique challenge because we had to bring in actors and we had to record them. And so we had to look at different ways of adapting our typical
feito durante a
motion
pandemia, hein?
capture process and dialogue recording process so we can continue production and continue at the quality that we wanted for our players and our fans.
We had some actors stand in for other characters, actors who were already, you know, who were like core to one of the scenes, might just be able to play a background character in another scene to be able to avoid a situation where too many people.
Nossa, gente, olha como foi complicado fazer God of War. Isso daqui, ó, à esquerda, é o Ryan Hurst. Reconheço pelo cabelo e também pela tatuagem, né? Isso daqui é Christopher Judge. Mas perceba que eles estão citando que o mesmo ator fez mais de um personagem. É incomum isso acontecer? Claro que não. Tanto na dublagem, até mesmo... Pra quem não se lembra, vocês já viram O Senhor dos Anéis? O mesmo personagem que faz o Gimli, né? O mesmo ator que faz o Gimli, o anão da Sociedade dos do Anel, né? No caso. Ele também faz o Barbárvore, que é aquele ser árvore do Senhor dos Anéis, As Duas Torres. Então percebo que isso é comum em todo lado. Só que isso daí geralmente é evitado, tanto para não sobrecarregar os atores, quanto para dar uma diferente interpretação, quanto também, é claro, meus amigos, para ter uma diversidade. E aí eles tiveram que voltar e o mesmo ator teve que fazer vários personagens, inclusive, pelo jeito, até o próprio Christopher Judge. Olha que coisa louca.
We're on set on any given day. We
Por causa da pandemia.
avoided compromising the story that we were trying to tell as a result of the pandemic and these limitations that we had to deal with. There were no cinematics that we changed. We still have the same characters in them in the final game. We just had to get a bit creative with how we shot the content.
Our actor for Atreus, Sonny, is a teenage boy, and his voice changed dramatically throughout the several years on this title.
I don't want to
Não, o
fight
menino
anyone.
envelheceu, pô.
I just want answers.
We had to go in and even out that performance so it sounds like it took place over a short period of time. That was a unique challenge on this one.
The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming.
Nossa,
Whether the
cara,
Norse
muito
saga
bonito.
was going to be a
Muito,
trilogy
muito
or
bonito.
just 2 games was something we debated a lot. There were obviously pros and cons for either approach. So we waited for Cory Barlog to weigh in, and he did, and he said, let's do it in 2.
The consequence to that is, how do you wrap up this story in one game? And do Ragnarok
Eles estão justamente falando que eles tinham a ideia justamente de fazer uma trilogia, e o Cory falou, vamos fazer isso tudo em um jogo. E aí? E eles estão explicando isso aí, como fechar essa história em um jogo, e fazer jus ao Ragnarok, que é o maior acontecimento da mitologia nórdica, guys.
How do we lead up to that and then have a big moment at the end of the game and wrap up all those loose threads? This game is bigger than what we initially envisioned. There's a lot of important story moments that we needed to cover. There are more characters that we follow the threads of. And ultimately, it ends up feeling big and epic because there is a lot there for people to enjoy.
I am very excited for folks to see this final chapter. A lot happens. We put our characters through the ringer, but we also bring them closure and we provide answers to a lot of the questions the first game posed.
Just all of the new combat that we're doing and the new interactions. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in this title that I think people are going to have fun with.
We all have
E
our
essa
own
música,
personal
né, guys?
Ragnaroks
De
to deal
fundo.
with. And this story is about how you process that, how you own it, and how you make it a part of yourself and grow from it.
I mean, we set some stuff up at the end of last game. There's going to be some consequences this game. We're going to see how things play out between Freya and Kratos.
Ai,
We're
ai,
going to
ai.
see
Olha o
how
medo deles matarem
the
o Cleitão.
evolution of the family relationship continues. You got Brock and
Olha o
Sindri, the
medo.
dwarves, who are kind of part of your makeshift family now. And there's going to be some other characters that we introduce that maybe going to disrupt the balance a little bit.
Personagens que acabem atrapalhando o balanço. E aí eles mostram 2 personagens específicos, Tyr e Angry Buddha. Claro, vai causar confusão nisso daí. Talvez um ciúminho entre Atreus e Kratos, talvez o Atreus fique muito ao lado de Tyr, talvez o amor pela Angry Buddha já se manifeste logo de início, e isso tudo prejudique o relacionamento entre os dois, né? Entre os
Can't
dois.
wait until players get their hands on the game, are able to experience how the story unfolds for themselves.
We have, I think, an incredibly well-rounded game. Very satisfying combat, beautiful and rich environments to explore, outstanding character art, a lush and moving soundtrack and soundscape. It's the work of hundreds of very dedicated artists, and they all have their own stories to tell.
Nossa, muito legal. Muito, muito legal. Caras, gostei muito do que a gente viu aqui, né? Eles basicamente estão mostrando pra gente o trabalho que eles tiveram durante esses 4 anos de produção, né? Foram 4 anos de muito trabalho, 4 anos de muita correria, pelo jeito. Eles tiveram que adaptar uma história que era para ser contada, talvez em 10 anos, para ser contada em um prazo de 5 anos. E isso é espetacular, na minha opinião. O hype ele só aumenta. Aqui, é claro, a gente teve alguma coisinha ou outra ali, uma nova informação aqui a colar. Mas isso daqui é o hype, isso daqui é o marketing que a gente tanto pediu e ele está acontecendo. A gente está tendo mais revelação via vazamentos do que propriamente por isso daqui. Mas eu fiquei bem feliz, bem intrigado com tudo isso que foi mostrado. Comentem aí, meus amigos, o que vocês acharam desse vídeo, né? É um vídeo de quase 10 minutos e meio, muito interessante, muito bonito, e eu trouxe aqui pra vocês em 4K 60 FPS. Espero que tenham curtido esse vídeo. Caso tenha curtido, não esquece de deixar o seu like. Se tu ainda não é inscrito no canal, pode esperando que se inscreve e não esquece de clicar no sininho, porque o YouTube não entrega o vídeo pra ninguém. Então falou, Bulldogames, aquele abraço e fui!